This summer, I reviewed the Hyper E-Ride Mountain 26, a budget e-bike from Walmart, very good for the money. Today, we're going to be looking at its big brother, another E-Ride Mountain, this time the E-Ride Mountain 29. Is this the same bike just with 29-inch wheels, or did it get some extra attention, a few different features? We'll find out as we take a look in detail at this bike, and also stick through this video until the end because there is holiday pricing going on and it is spectacularly affordable. I'll provide links, so be sure you stick through this video. Also in the description I'll put a link to my review of the E-Ride Mountain 26 because some of these features are duplicates and I'll be covering those only briefly in this video. So there are carryover parts, but not all parts are carryovers. For instance, the handlebars, they have the same profile, the same 31.8mm diameter, but on the 29-inch version of the E-Ride Mountain, they're slightly wider, 620mm, so about 10mm more. Now that could be manufacturing variants, but I suspect it's purposeful because this is a slightly larger bike, so slightly wider bars fit it a bit better. The stem is a carryover. It's the same Neko stem with the same threadless headset, and these are good. I've used the Neko stem on my Project X bike for, 2 or 3 years now? Grips identical to the 26er's comfort-ish rubber slip-on grips. The twister, another twist shifter, a Shimano Revo shift, and normally I complain about twist shifters on anything with the mountain bike name, but when it comes to e-bikes I make an exception. And on this 29er E-Ride Mountain, it packs one more twisty click, 7 speeds up from the 26er's 6 speed. Looking at the brakes, there's that cutoff switch that I look for. So important on these hub-driven e-bikes, safety first. For the computer display, this is the Model 810 computer. That's the only branding, so that's what it is. It's the same as the 26er version, easy to use, and, it needs power, which is via a switch on the battery. And then it's easy to turn on and use. 3 simple assist modes, low, medium, and high, and then there's a pace function. 6 kilometers per hour if you need to push the bike, and 4 LEDs to display the battery's power. This frame also aluminum, internal cable routing, nice clean lines, and a satin black finish with highlighter green graphics, a slightly darker green than on the 26er. And with these contrasting colors and the different tube sizes, it too has that cool optical illusion effect. And it's a purpose-built e-bike frame with nice flush clean mount battery integration. The battery itself, it's a 36 volt. It has onboard charge status indicators. It's easy to use and easy to charge, be that in or out of the bike. Removable via a keyed lock, just like on the 26 E-Ride Mountain. This battery, it's the exact same battery across the entire E-Ride lineup. Bottom bracket, a standard square taper, but this is an e-bike, so there's a cadence sensor. It's an exposed magnet sensor and it's on the drive side. This drivetrain kicks off with Neko branded alloy pedals and 170mm alloy crank arms. For this 29er, no more 3x, it's a 1x with a single chain ring. And this is a Hyper with a 1x, so it gets a chain guide. The graphics remind us of what we already know from the twist shifter up front, that this is a Shimano 7-speed, and following the chain to the rear at the derailleur with its red jockey wheel, we see that it's a Shimano Tourney, a Tourney TZ. And if you ever wondered how the power cables get routed to a rear hub motor, well, it's via magic. Oh, no wait, it's the hollow axle with a rubber cap to keep things discreet. Tourney TZ, meet the freewheel that you're going to be shifting around on, the 7-speed 14 to 28 tooth freewheel, but that's not the important part because the action is here. The rear hub motor. Scaled for 29-inch wheels, this is 36 volts with the 250 watt output, and that works exceedingly well on the 26er E-Ride Mountain. But I am curious because it's the same power output, but now it's moving those larger wheels and a little extra metal on this larger frame. This frame has the exact same appearance as the 26-inch model with all the same curves and lines, but it is larger. It's 18 inches, up from 16.5 on the 26er. And that means there's a slight bit of additional weight. This bike, 51.8 pounds. One area where budget bikes get their savings is usually at the suspension fork, and this is definitely a big box caliber fork, of course scaled for the 29-inch wheels. Wheels that are also on the budget side, being bolt-on with budget hubs. These are, though, alloy double wall rims. Double wall is good, though you can see the budget in these too if you look, because you see rim brake channels. A peek at the tires, which are generic knobbies, more street friendly than trail knobbies. Size 29 by 2.30, so definitely bigger. Bigger wheels, a bigger frame, the same saddle, Snafu branding. You know, Hyper loves their Snafu brand, and so do I. A small detail that catches my eye, the frame mount point for the chain guide. A small difference among other differences, the obvious one though of course being the 29-inch wheels and the lack of rim brakes, which to me were a curious yet functional choice on the 26-inch E-Ride Mountain. Pleasantly for the 29er, even though it has rim brake channels, it is equipped with disc brakes. And that's mechanical discs, front and rear with 160mm rotors. Those disc brakes, I saw a lot of people on my 26er E-Ride Mountain reviews say that they would have been more interested in it if it did have disc brakes, and some wanted 29-inch wheels. Well, you get both of that here on this E-Ride Mountain 29er. Now, I'm completely confident with the 26-inch version of this bike, but I was curious how the 29er was going to work out. Was it going to have that big box 29er feel? And I'll get to that in just a second, but first, I was having to recover footage for this video because it's been a long time in the making. While I was recovering footage, I realized that I accidentally recorded my initial run-in and my pre-trail ride checks. And it turns out there's some really important information here because while I was doing those checks and running in the brakes, I was giving advice to my co-rider for the day, whom is on the E-Ride Mountain 26. He's quite skilled on the trail, but I was explaining how the cadence sensor plus hub drive motor sometimes results in unintended bursts of power. I've talked about this many times here on the channel, and this is why brake motor shutoff switches are so important. I think this footage is beneficial because this is unscripted and unedited pre-trail ride conversation, so I'm going to let you listen to this. And I'll come back to voiceover when we hit the trail.
One thing you can't do is anticipate that it's going to be the same amount of delay before it turns off, because like if you do one revolution, like right there, it was about a second. But if I do it again, that was just a little quick burst. So you never know. And that's why when you were following me the last time, when I come up to some turns, it's like I would have to brake and go real wide because it's giving me that extra. Yeah. So, all right, you ready? And I guess we can just switch. Sometimes I'll be in the lead, sometimes you'll be in the lead.
And we're back. I hope that was beneficial for you. That's why I left it in. I think there's some important information to be gleaned there. Where I'm riding today, Joe Wheeler State Park's new mountain bike trails. Well, new in the sense that they came into existence last year. And this trail beneficial for this video for two reasons. Number one, they're perfect for these type bikes. Smooth, hard-packed, a little bit of loose gravel, but otherwise very smooth and hard-packed. Not a lot of roots or any rough terrain. Second, this is exactly where I did the review on the E-Ride Mountain 26 that's currently behind me. As far as this bike, I did have some questions going into this, some unknowns. How was this going to ride as a 29er? Because it kind of has that big box geometry, that old school 29er big box geometry, and you know, I don't typically like that sitting up high feel, which is definitely present here. And something to consider with this bike because it is 100% noticeable if you're someone like me that cut their teeth on 26-inch wheels and prefers 27.5. I'm also curious about the powertrain performance. This is the same motor and the same battery, so is the performance going to be different because there is extra weight and the larger wheels? Overall performance is surprisingly pretty much the same with one caveat, meaning it has the same top speed. It has the same range. This trail's 6 miles to the end and 6 miles back. I can make it on this bike, give or take, most of it being medium to high pedal assist. On the way back, I did drop it down to the lowest pedal assist for about the last mile and a half, but I still made it back and with a little juice to spare. The one caveat with motor performance is acceleration. The torque is about the same. It'll climb the same hills the same way, but the acceleration a little slower than the 26er. Those smaller wheels, they can spin up faster. Meaning from a dead start, at the same assist level, the 26er will pull out ahead quickly, and then the 29er version slowly runs it down, though the top speed the same on both bikes. That's motor limited. So as I've mentioned, overall the performance very similar, near identical, minus the whole 26er versus 29er thing, which is a different feel. The most noticeable difference though, aside from rider positioning, the disc disc brakes. Now let me preface this with the mention that the rim brakes on that 26-inch model work fine and better than I initially thought that they would. That said, disc brakes being equipped on the bike instantly noticeable. Faster stops and with more of a bite, that's what disc brakes do. Not to mention the bonus in wet riding condition performance, where rim brakes can have reduced functionality, disc brakes keep their strong performance even in wet conditions. That's something to factor in when you're shopping for these bikes. Do you want the benefit of disc brakes and 29-inch wheels? Because like them or not, 29-inch wheels are more popular. Fortunately, and probably the biggest selling point for this bike and any of these other E-Ride bikes from Hyper is that there is the choice between the E-Ride bikes. There are the two E-Ride Mountains, the one that I'm on, the E-Ride Mountain 29, and the one riding in front of me right now, the E-Ride Mountain 26. Then there's the E-Ride City, a city bike, step-through design, and an E-Ride commuter, I think the same bike, but in black trim. There's also the E-Ride Cruiser that I think they call just the E-Ride Electric. It's a black cruiser-style bike. All of these bikes share the same battery. 36 volt, 281 watt hour, and have the same 250 watt motor. And note that the battery in all these E-Rides is cross-platform, meaning if you have a family full of people and one has the city, one has the commuter, and one has the mountain bike, you can take the mountain bike battery and put it in the city, and the city battery in the mountain bike, and so on. Now let's talk pricing, because that is a big deal right now, because it's holiday time. Holiday pricing is out, and surprisingly, it's the same pricing deal that happened last year, which is amazing considering that we are in an inflation environment. All bikes are more expensive, so the fact that Walmart can sell these bikes at the same holiday prices as last year, outstanding. And how cheap is that? Really cheap. Under $400 for an e-bike. Cheap if you're shopping for the E-Ride Mountain 26, the E-Ride City, the E-Ride Commuter, or that E-Ride Electric Cruiser. $398. If you're shopping for the big boy, the one that I'm riding, the E-Ride Mountain 29er with its disc brakes and of course 29-inch wheels, it's a little more expensive, but still an outstanding deal right now, holiday pricing. $598. I'll put links down in the description to each one of these bikes and their holiday pricing so you can go straight to them on the Walmart website. My only advice is if you are shopping for the holidays, very limited supply this year, so you might want to shop early if you're planning on getting a bike. If you're watching this video after the holidays, the pricing's still among the most affordable e-bikes I've ever seen, under $650 and under $750 depending upon the model. I'll try to keep the links updated as necessary if they change between holiday pricing and the normal listing on the Walmart websites. For now though, I want you to comment below with your thoughts on this E-Ride Mountain 29. Is it what you hoped it would be if you were someone that didn't like the rim brakes on that 26-inch model? And these sale prices, these were among the most budget-friendly e-bikes before the sale prices, and with this, I just don't see how there's really any other option if you want affordable e-bikes, because these are really affordable right now. And they're good bikes. It's not like they just slapped kits on a $100 bike and called it an e-bike. This is a purpose-built e-bike. Every one of these e-rides is. Very impressive. Be sure to comment below with your opinions. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. I hope that you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and that you have that notification bell active so you don't miss any upcoming content. Thank you so much for watching KevCentral, and have a great day.